All right, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? We're going to get ready to get started in just a few moments. It's right at 6 o'clock. Got a big show for you here on Ladies Night. We got a very special guest coming on as well. So I am definitely excited about that. Um, and we are going to be getting started in about we're definitely going to be getting started in about 60 seconds. So make sure y'all share the show, and we will be getting started in just a minute. Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing? Welcome in to Titans and Truth TNT tonight. I am your host, Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and we have a very, very special show for you tonight. And y'all make sure y'all share this show out and everything. So do me a favor. You're helping yourself. You're helping me on everything. So make sure y'all share this show out on all the channels. Make sure you also hit that like button too as well on Facebook and on all the Titan groups. You can follow at TNT Enforcers, that's the fan page, or Titans in Truth, that's the main page. On Instagram at Titans _in_ truth. On Twitter at TNT Blue Enforcer. So definitely make sure y'all share the show out. Hit that like button. I want a bunch of likes tonight. I mean, a bunch of them. Everybody that comes in here, please hit that like button. And again, you will be helping me. And I would, I would so appreciate that very, very much indeed. So again, I'm sharing the show out right now, letting everybody know that we are live and kicking. And without any further ado, as we know, tonight is a very, very special evening because it is indeed ladies' night. And so, with that being said, I have a very, very, very special guest coming in who is a huge sports fan and a huge Titans fan. Met her on Twitter. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Miss Haley. Haley, how
Hi,
you doing?
I'm good.
Welcome
How are
into the
you?
show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
It is great. I'm glad to have you on. Uh, for some of you that don't know, I actually met Miss Haley on. We were talking on Twitter not too long ago, so we kind of talked a little bit, and she agreed to come on with me for Ladies Night, and I'm trying to reach out. I'm trying to reach out to the ladies and everything, and I put out a big post, and I know we have a few in here tonight. I know. Miss Keisha Bible will probably be in, and I know Miss Mims, who was also looking to join us as well, but we kind of had some connection issues. But I'm glad she's watching anyway. So, Miss Haley, for a quick second, if you don't mind, you can tell a little bit about your fandom as a Titans fan, and if you don't mind people looking for you, where they can find you.
Okay. Yeah. So my name is Haley. Obviously, I have been a fan since about 1998. I was a senior in high school And not only is that when they started playing here in Nashville, but also have a good friend who uh, started going to school with me my senior year. Her name is Leslie Steckel. Her dad was Les Steckel, who was the offensive coordinator at the time. She had just moved here from Houston. She and I became fast friends. And so not only, I mean, I've always been a hometown kind of fan, always been a fan of, all of our home teams. I was born and raised in Nashville, but also just getting to know, I got really close with her and her family. And just fell in love with them. And then, of course, just started learning more about the Titans through them. Her brother, Luke Steckel, is actually the tight ends coach for the Titans now. So they're just a special family to me. And so that was kind of, I guess, my first connection to the Titans. And then, of course, after that, we just became like I, obviously went to the Super Bowl and I just fell in love. I just fell in love with the Titans, fell in love with, I wasn't a huge football fan before that. I mean, I'd watch some, but just fell in love with football. Actually, baseball was kind of my first love. And then I just fell in love with football, and I've been a fan ever since, kind of more and more every year. So,
Wow.
As far as, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to cut you off. You go ahead.
No, I was, as far as where you can find me, I'm at HeyBay42 on Twitter. Also, I'm on Facebook, Haley Thornhill, and Instagram also. So
I wonder how's it that we're not Facebook friends already. Maybe
I
we
know.
are. I'm like, I'm going to make sure that we rectify that issue right here and now. So I'm making sure I send the request. So we gonna fix that problem right there. Nip that in the bud. But that's actually a beautiful story, especially in relating to the Steckel family, because I've definitely have heard of the name of Steckel and how important that was as far as him being the offensive coordinator, and now Luke Steckel is now our tight ends coach. So that is something that is, I mean, that's actually remarkable. And that's the thing about this show, y'all. We're a family. We all came to the Titans maybe in different ways, but we're all one family now. So
definitely, for sure.
It is that is awesome. I'm glad to have you on. But before we do keep going, as a tribute to you and to any of the ladies that are watching, I gotta do a little musical, dedication
All
right
right.
here. Gotta do it.
I love it.
All right, I'm gonna cut it down there, but y'all know how it is. We do this every first we do this every first Wednesday of the month for Ladies Night, and I forgot to say this. This is the first. Not only is this the first Titans and Truth TNT Tonight of 2022, it's the first Ladies Night of 2022. So already starting the year off great and have a wonderful guest on. Haley, thank you so much for being on with us this here evening. And let's get some comments out. What's up, DO9? Ian, winter is here. I think winter is about to come, and there's probably a lot of other teams that are not liking this at all. So I'm like, good news for us, bad news for everybody else. So I definitely like that. Kent, what's up with you? Hopefully you're getting better. Miss Mims, as usual, I'm glad you're here with us. The 615 podcast, my guy Lee hit him up. And Lee, thank you so much for that hoodie that you sent me. I definitely appreciate that. I'm probably going to be wearing that very, very soon indeed. Shout out to the 615 podcast. And I believe I'm also going to be on the Power Hour next Monday. We're probably going to be recapping the Texan game later on. But let's get on into the show, and let's go ahead and get through it, because I know y'all don't want to hear me talking my head off the whole time. But I want to get everybody's final thoughts on just the division clinching game against Miami. 34-3 once again. Of course, I have a post game on Monday. If you missed it, definitely go back and check it out after this show. We're 11-5, number one in the AFC, and we are AFC South Division champs, and back-to-back division champs for the first time since the 1960s, when they were in the AFL. So there it is, right there. They are division champs. So Haley, I wanted to ask you. I don't know if you were at the game or not, but how did you feel once those clocks hit 00 and the Titans clinched the division?
It was, I mean, I was there. It was amazing. Actually, I was there. I went with Stephanie, our fan of the year. I was
Yep.
there with her and some of our other friends. And we had our moment of celebration of us winning, but then also we stood in the concourse and of course watched the Chiefs Bengals game, watched that last field goal being kicked, and the whole place just erupted. It was
Oh
amazing.
my God, I hate I wasn't there. I
I
should have.
know
I
it
was
was.
supposed, and I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do a early dunce of the day a little bit to myself because I should have been there.
Yeah.
And I was originally going to be there, but I will put myself on blast just a little. Not exactly the biggest fan of the rain or
Right.
cold. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but in all seriousness, uh dealing with a couple of little car things that I know I gotta, get fixed and taken care of. And I just didn't
Mhm.
want to risk it on the road
Yeah.
because that would be, I think for any guys out, especially the guys out there or anybody that know anybody about cars, I know there's some ladies that know a lot about cars too, is that when that timing belt on the engine slips
Oh
off,
yeah.
it messes up everything.
Yep.
So, I didn't want to risk that going 3 hours up the road to Nashville, even though I think I probably could have made it. I think
Yeah.
on a nicer day, I probably would have took a chance on it, but didn't want to risk it, especially with the weather and the snow that might have been coming,
Yeah.
and definitely risking that coming back. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I did that. So again, I kind of will put myself on blast a little bit
Right.
as a dunce of the day. So dunce of the day, co-dunce of the day goes to me. So I will do that. But I definitely, as we did the live stream, they went to the Cincinnati game
hmm
and on CBS. So I kept the stream going because I knew that game was happening. And I
Yeah.
kept thinking, if Zach Taylor screws this up,
I know.
I mean, you're going for it
I
on
know.
fourth down twice
Yep.
with less than a minute to go. Now, I said I understood why he did it. I wouldn't have done it. I would have just kicked the
Mm-mm.
field goal and been like, look, if Mahomes goes down the field and beat us, hey, more power to him.
Right.
But I'm like, I don't want to risk a fumble or something happening because that could have very well happened. And then you saw in the play where Joe Burrow kind of went down and came off limping. I'm like, he
Yeah.
might say he's okay, but he might be a little sore, at least right now. So when I saw that kick go through, I think like everybody else, I was elated
No,
too.
it was amazing. I mean, it was a nail biter there at the end. I mean, we were all kind of just, and had the same feelings you did. But when we saw that ball go through, man, I mean, the whole place just erupted.
Man, that's beautiful.
It was a really cool feeling to be there with all those Titans fans, like at the stadium watching that after we had just, if we had just won our game and won it in such a convincing, our game wasn't even close, so it was kind of nice to just kind of win one outright, and then to go and watch that happen it was one of the better Titans games I've ever been to, just for that, just the whole experience, and of course Stephanie, getting to
Oh yes.
see her be the 12th man was really cool. So.
Oh, absolutely, and shout out to Stephanie as well because I tried to get her on tonight, but I think she had a fan Zoom call that she had to be
Yeah,
on
she did. She
today.
had a fan of the year Zoom call tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I hate I couldn't get her on. I really wanted to get her on as far as that was concerned because I really wanted
Yeah.
to celebrate her as well because I mean, and if you haven't seen the video of her, with her son on the field, it is priceless, y'all.
It
Y'all
really
got to
is.
go check it out. I felt the love and
Mhm.
it almost brought a tear to my eye because I'm like That is probably a moment that neither one of them will ever forget.
Yeah.
And I thought that was special. So
and he's
shout
just
out to
the coolest. He's the coolest kid anyway. Like he's just like I've hung out with him several times, and but he adores her, and just you can just tell in the way that he's just so proud.
And I'm gonna tell a quick story before moving on. And by the way, what's up, Titan Anderson? I saw you up in here. Titan Anderson. I know he did his thing as well. And also my boy CJ Blue Five, my brother. Marvin Lawrence says, love the family, especially the ladies. But I had Stephanie on for the first ever ladies' night, and I could tell her son Nate just wanted to be involved. And she was trying to I'm trying to do this, but I was like, I told her, I said, it's fine. He's a fan too, so it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. He can be the star of the show.
Yeah.
That doesn't it doesn't hurt anybody. We're all a family. We all support each other, and I just it was fun. That was probably one of the best football days I've had. Watching that game happen, Cincinnati doing their thing, and then Indy losing too was just the icing on the cake.
Yes.
So
yes,
it was incredible.
This was a great day. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, pretty much. I said to anybody, I don't care what anybody else says to me that day. Nothing can bring me down that day.
No.
At all. I felt like we all won. So I thought that was beautiful. But speaking of the game, and everything, so everybody, we're kind of gonna switch it up just a bit before we go into some of the news of the day. Let's quickly do a stock up, stock down of this game. And so y'all know how we do it every week, as far as not necessarily who was the star of the week, but who do you think came up a bit and who do you think went down a little bit based on the last game? So we're going to talk about Bud Dupree and Derrick Henry in just a bit, but I want y'all to put in the comments, and also Miss Haley's going to give her opinion. Definitely who do you feel, their stock went up after the Miami game? And let's see. We got SM Ducky, Shucky Ducky Quack Quack. How's it going? We got Zach. What's going on? Tighten up, good sir. Let's see. I know 615 Podcast got something coming up, so y'all definitely check him out. I know Miss Mims she's always so energetic. Queen Titan, I got to give it to her.
Yes.
I mean, I said, I talked to her earlier. We were trying to get the connection going. I told her, I said, if nothing else, she's always always full. Not glass full, right. All the way full. So I just, I'm like, look, it's beautiful. So I enjoyed that with her and stuff like that. But let's see, we got a few people saying Foreman stock up. Let's see. Ian says stock up Cunningham, Ferkser, and Foreman. I like that. Rocky Yit says Foreman, Jackrabbit, Cunningham. Definitely. Let's see. I'm trying to see who else got. But Steph, Miss Haley, who do you feel stock has went up with the Miami game?
I agree with that. I mean, definitely Foreman has just been just crazy. But I think he already was, just seeing him, what was it, last week, like get that foot rolled up under him and then come out of the game, get it taped up, and then just come right back in and carry like 5 people on his back for a first down was crazy. So I feel like his stock has been up. But I would say for me, I think the O-line, really this week played better than they have in a while. They definitely, I might have a child of my own coming in here. So sorry.
That's okay. We love the people, so we love the kids. It's a family show.
So say hi.
Hey. We got a future Titan fan right there. Yes. We love the kids.
So I would say that would be mine, the O line for sure, and definitely the tight ends too. I mean, obviously we lost Michael Pruitt, but
Yeah,
we're like everybody kind of stepped up in that game.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. She wants to
Sorry.
be in on the show too. But I absolutely agree. And that was kind of where I was going with that is the offensive line.
Right.
Offensive line didn't give up a sack at all because the sack that was given up, that was Jeremy McNichols missing a block on Jerome Baker. So that was on him. And other than that, the offensive line did a heck of a job, and it was great. Deontay Foreman, like you said, his stock has always been going up.
Right.
3 100-yard games since becoming a Titan, and I can tell she wants in.
Sorry.
And dare I say it, I can keep calling him Jack Rabbit. Jack Rabbit Jenkins. Because for the longest time, I kept calling him Janoris. Because I just thought, okay, he's not good. He's not good. But he's gotten better. And so I say Jack Rabbit Jenkins definitely has stepped up in a major way. And I definitely do enjoy that. Again, I like good games from Ferkser and Swain as well. Yeah, definitely with Michael Pruitt going down. That was awful. I mean, I hate that happened to him. Prayers up to Michael Pruitt on his recovery. Hopefully he'll be back with us next season and everything. So shout out to Michael Pruitt. And he was probably our best tight end, hands down, for this team. So just hate that happened to him and everything. So I think we had another couple of people. Philip says Nate Davis stock up. Yeah, I agree. The O-line, absolutely. Wow, 615 says stock down AJ Brown. I'm kind of shocked by that. Lee, why you saying AJ's down? I mean, we didn't really have to do much. So AJ didn't really have to do anything. So with that, Ken Wood says Tannehill did turn the ball over. That is true.
That's true.
That is very true. Tannehill not turn the ball over, and I think that's what a lot of people have said. If Tannehill doesn't turn the ball over, the Titans will win and be successful.
But some of that's on the offensive line too. For that they play better. If they play better, he's not going to turn the ball over as much. He's not going to be as
absolutely. So. Let's see. Ricky Jenkins says the King. I'm like, yep, we are going to definitely talk about that. And Mr. Titan, and I agree with this. Shane Bowen's stock has went up as defensive coordinator. And again, I said this on Stillman and Company the other day. I'm like, and even though he didn't agree with me on this, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to have to give Shane Bowen the biggest apology of all time. Because I think we all owe Shane Bowen an apology. Because I think none of us had good expectations for him when he was chosen as defensive coordinator officially. We knew he was pretty much the defensive coordinator, but he was officially defensive coordinator. And I don't think none of us gave him a real chance to really succeed. And to see him actually do that, it's like, man, he's doing a lot of good. So shout out to Shane Bowen. And before we go to stock down with the ref, hey. When I watched the game like itself, I didn't even catch that. And then I see some of the videos, and I couldn't help but laugh.
I was at the game and I didn't catch it. Until
I didn't catch it either. I didn't catch it either. So, and 615, no. Lee, stop, my friend, stop. Now you're going to Dontrell Hilliard, who had a 39-yard touchdown run. Come on, man. Come on. Are you just doing this to troll me tonight, my friend? Stop that. Shout out to Lee, by the way. I'm just picking on him a little bit.
I know.
Okay, but let's go to stock down. And I think this is going to be a pretty simple stock down for me. I'm going to put this up. If anybody has anything different, feel free. But me, Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Except Jeremy McNichols missing the block. Other than that, nobody. I think everybody played pretty well. Tannehill didn't turn the ball over. Deontay Foreman had a good game as usual. The defense did what the defense does, which is why they're one of the best. And I mean, got the Tua. They said they got the Tua 4 times. I only saw 3 sacks. I know he had to fumble, so I think that may be counted. I saw it on ESPN. It was counted as a team sack. I'm like, I don't know. Do you disperse it between everybody? I guess everybody has, like, for example, Harold Landry probably has 12.0035 sacks on the year or something like that. But Jeremy McNichols missing that block, I think, was the only downer
Yeah.
in this game. So if anybody has anything different, hey, Miss Haley, if you got something, feel free.
Yeah. No, I was going to say the same thing. I can't think of anybody. I was trying to think of really anybody whose stock went down, but I'd say everybody's stock went up this week. Really, I mean, it was a well-rounded game, you know.
I agree. I think that was the best that the offense looked in weeks. Excuse me. That was the best they looked in weeks. And I thought it was fun. It was very, very fun to watch. And like I said, we have nothing bad to say. So, dang, Miss Mim says Chester Rogers stock down. I tend to disagree with that. I mean, I think Chester Rogers actually had a couple of decent returns. Maybe not in the receiving game, but in the return game, he actually did pretty good. Way better than he did the last time he was in the elements against Houston, which I did go back and watch, and I was like, oh my God, what am I witnessing? But I think he handled himself pretty well in the elements. Very decent in the return game. So I, kind of disagree. Now, I see what she's saying for that penalty. And on the Chester Rogers penalty, I'm like, they kind of could have let that go, really, to be honest. But I understand if it's a rule, you kind of got to obey by, if you have your back to him and you kind of crack like that, I guess that's what it is. That's the rule. I mean, I didn't really think it was much of it that should have called a penalty, but rules are rules, and that's that on that. So let's see. We're gonna get to some comments and see if Haley has any other thoughts before we move on. SM Ducky says, I'm glad Chris Jackson's out of the picture. Well, he's depth. CJ says, I have more faith in Boeing than Downing. I think we all do.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we all do. And if Philip comes in, I have to disagree. Downing stock is down. Another slow start again. I'm afraid it's going to catch up to us in the playoffs. We shall see on that. I think it was a filling out process. We were in the elements, a filling out process. And so I don't mind. I mean, in this particular game with the elements and with this team, I'm fine with run, punt. In this, with the rain the way it was and the defense playing the way it is. And I mean, I said it on the live stream. All the Titans had to do at some point, get a lead. If they get a 7 or 14-0 lead or a 10-0 lead like they did with the elements, let Mother Nature do the rest. And that's exactly what happened. So Downing stock, I'm just going to say, is where it is. I'm not going up. I'm not going down. It's been down. I mean, I guess it could come up just a smidge, but I'm not going to really go all the way up on Downing. Haley, sound fair to you?
Yeah, I mean, he obviously, I mean, we got a little spoiled with Arthur Smith, but Arthur Smith didn't have to deal with a lot of injuries either.
That's true.
And so, I'm giving Downing a little bit of a pass for this year. I mean, he's just been on, we're talking about, third string receivers and, running. I mean, he has dealt with so many injuries. Like it's hard, I would say, to And every week it's different, every week it's like this person's gone now, this person's gone, this person's back, so I mean, he obviously hasn't done extremely well, but I'm giving him a little bit of a pass, and I'd say he's done better the last few weeks, for
And,
sure. So
you know what? In a way, I understand where you're coming from with that,
mhm,
and with the injuries and everything, and I think a lot of people would have said it. It's like, dang, Derrick Henry going down. That's your biggest piece. It's it's kind of like the movie Friday Night Lights. I think a lot of
mhm,
us can say we've seen that movie. You know, they centered their offense all around a running back, Booby Miles. It's like, yeah, everything's great,
mhm,
with a centering around a guy, as long as that guy is there.
yeah,
And really, in that movie, the Permian Panthers kind of was in the same situation.
uh-huh,
High expectations. Everybody expected them to get to the state championship. They had
mhm,
to basically change their entire identity when their identity was taken from them.
yep,
So it's kind of the same situation, same
mhm,
analogy. And, I think we had to find ourselves again. And I
yep,
think it was good that in finding ourselves, we really didn't lose ourselves, because Foreman, and I've said this,
mhm,
Foreman is kind of like Henry Jr. If Henry's the
yeah,
king, I'm not really necessarily ready to name Deontay Foreman the prince. I kind of
right,
give him Duke. I'm like, he's a Duke,
yeah,
you know, a lord of the,
yeah,
a lord, not exactly a prince yet, but I think he has the capability to be the heir apparent. So,
yeah,
and I think there's some people who agree with you. Ducky says, I give Downing grace. As his first year had to deal with many injuries. When we had a
mhm,
healthy offense, Downing was pretty solid. True. And we're going to have 89 players. We're going to have another tight end suit up in
yeah,
Ryan Izzo, who was just picked up off of the Seattle practice squad this week. So
mhm,
we're definitely going to see that. And Warrior says, Return of the King. That much is true. I definitely agree with that. So let's quickly go into naming, just quickly from the game, our two-tone blue star of the week. And honestly, I think there's about two or three guys I could really go with
mhm,
on this. I could definitely look at Deontay Foreman. Definitely, I would say
mhm,
Tannehill for not turning the ball over. Offensive line could be another. Um, Man, David Long being back getting an
yeah,
interception
yeah,
uh,
mhm,
was pretty big and everything. So, and I know we could probably say, hey, maybe star of the week could be Mother Nature for what she did to the Dolphins,
right, mhm.
with that. So everybody in your comments, and give me who you think is the two-tone blue star of the week. And Haley, if you have any thoughts, I will let ladies go first.
I'm gonna give it to Tannehill just because one, he didn't turn the ball over, he played well. But also this was his revenge game, his although I don't think he would consider it that, but it's his first time playing the Dolphins since he left there. And so um just for that, and how well he played, I would give it to him.
That's a very solid pick. That's a very solid pick indeed. I like that. I know Warrior 2411 going to Monty Hooker, although I'm kind of mad at him because that interception, he should have picked it off. It's right there in his hands.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. I know the elements probably played with that. I can't give it to Hooker. Hooker played well, but he should have had that interception. No, I can't give it to him on that one. I'm sorry. Ducky like A-Son and Danico Autry, I agree.
Definitely.
Um, let's see, O-line as a whole, because you can't pinpoint one lineman.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Sure.
I think everybody did well on the offensive line, so I definitely like that. As Ben's going with Foreman, there's Ferkser, David Long. I definitely like that. So my two-tone blue star of the week, I'm just going to keep it simple. The Duke Deontay Foreman.
Yeah.
I mean, 26 carries, 132 yards, and a touch. I like that, and I think with the King coming back, I like, dare I say, the 3D coming together.
Yeah.
Derek, Deontay, Dontrell. I like the 3D. And I
Yeah.
think Jeremy McNichols may be the odd man out in this situation. So I like what all three of these guys will bring to the table. So I give it to Deontay Foreman as the star of the week. Now, I think this is going to be a hard one, and I think there is a simple answer to this one, as there is always a star of the week. Can we find a dunce of the day necessarily? I think there's one maybe on the other side of the field, on the other team. I'm going to just go ahead and put it out there. I'm going to say my dunce of the day. And we could probably, I think we could even go around the league. I think we all say a dunce of the day is Antonio Brown. I mean, look, I understand from what I'm hearing is like he might have got screwed out of some money because they didn't go to him, but still, Antonio Brown was being Antonio Brown. I mean, the guy's a clown. I've said this many times in the past. Antonio Brown is a clown, and no team should take a chance on him after this. I mean, he did this to Pittsburgh. He did this to New England. He did this to Tampa Bay. This is just who he is. This is exactly who Antonio Brown is. Another guy I would say, Tua. I think Tua got exposed a little bit more, and I think this Dolphin team got exposed. Everybody, a lot of the national media was like, oh my God, the Dolphins are so hot. They're so hot. I mean, they lost 7 in a row and they won 7 in a row. They're hot. They're hot. But they haven't played anybody. The only team they played was Baltimore.
Yep. And Baltimore is not always Baltimore. So
exactly. I mean, Baltimore is probably not making the playoffs this year. So basically, they beat a bunch of non-playoff teams, a bunch of bottom feeders, and then they come up against a real one, and they get smacked in the mouth. So, Ducky says, AB is a clowny. Oh, I love it. But I think the obvious one, Titans-wise, yeah. I'd have to give it to Jeremy McNichols giving up that sack. I definitely agree. Haley, what are your thoughts on some of the dunce of the day? It could be even around the league.
I mean, definitely I'd agree with Antonio Brown, although there's a lot of different stories around him. There may, who knows what's going on in people's lives. So, but he does have a history of that kind of stuff. So I'd say definitely, but I'd say Tua for me. I mean, just even off that one play where he just let the ball go behind. I mean,
it wasn't a good day for him. No. It wasn't a good day.
Although I do like him, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Tua's a good guy. He's a decent player. I think he could be a solid quarterback, maybe in the right system. He could be solid, but I don't think he's ready to take on the load. He needs help. He's like, and I know some people are going to hate on me for this, he's a Marcus Mariota all over again.
Yeah.
He cannot do it by himself.
No.
He has to have help.
Yeah.
He has to have help. He has to have everything perfectly around him. And without it, he's exposed. And, he's good when he's throwing to Jalen Waddle. But if you take Jalen Waddle away, who else is he really going to go to?
Right.
Is the thing. And I love this from Mr. Titan. Shout out to Mr. Titan. Dunce of the day is the national media counting the Titans and King Henry out. Absolutely. And speaking of the national media, I have been waiting to play this for quite some time, and we are going to do this because plain and simple, I got some stuff to laugh at, but I also got something that is going to be enjoyable with that. I'm trying to find the actual video that I want to show, and give me just a second. Let me see. I think I got it. Yep. Here it is. Perfect.
Derrick Henry. It's all over. It's over. It's over. It's over.
And they're 6-2.
Listen.
Hugely disappointing.
This is a debate show, and obviously we take different points of views. But when the obvious happens, you have to agree. There's nothing to debate here.
Right.
We'll discuss it a little bit later on the show. But Tennessee Titans season's over. Let's call it what it is. This is their running game. Who the hell you gonna have running the ball now? Jeremy McNichols or whatever the hell his name is, the backup? I mean, that ain't gonna work. I think it's Jeremy McNichols. Yeah, it's Jeremy McNichols. I mean, please, come on now. This is Derrick Henry we talking about here. Fresh off a 2,000-yard season, en route to another 2,000-yard season, averaging 4.3 yards a carry, top 5 rushing, top 4 running attack in the National Football League, and he goes down. It is over. The Tennessee Titans, their season, as far as I'm concerned, is finished. If this
Now, that, of course, was the famous Stephen A. Smith the day after the Derrick Henry injury, and the news comes out that, and of course, another dunce of the day, I'm going to keep going with this, is Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter has lost all credibility with me after that. He comes out and says, Derrick Henry will be out for the season. He says it is expected that Derrick Henry will be out for the season. And he doubled down on that. He kept saying, season is over. Season is over. He's not coming back. Now, Ian Rappaport came out, I think, maybe some hours later, said 6 to 10 weeks. And then Diana Rossini, and Diana Rossini is a star in my eyes.
Oh, yeah.
I give her more credibility than Adam Schefter, painfully, because she's on the inside. And she was like, yeah, 6 to 10 weeks, there is a chance he could come back at the end of the year or before the playoffs. And then she kept saying, hey, there's a chance he could be coming back. Rehab's been going good. And then she broke the nugget on NFL Countdown. He's been jogging, and now he's on the practice field today, and we're about to have a whole lot of fun about that. So y'all buckle up and just stick with us. It might be a long show, but it's going to be a fun one. So that happened, and I'm just like, Stephen A., Michael Irvin, y'all lost my respect. Y'all was just stupid on your part. Just assumed that we were dead. And now we have the chance to lock up the number 1 seed. So, Haley, please feel free to chime in.
I mean, today when the news broke that Henry was, I mean, we kind of all felt it, right? Like we expected it. We felt he was coming back. But there was nothing like just seeing that, and not only seeing, that he's designated to return, but like seeing that video of him on the practice field was just like, I mean, it was almost emotional. Like I can't remember another time that we've had a player like that that's just means so much, and not just, obviously he's a beast, but he's just what he means to the team, just as a person, and I'm really excited to see how he's just gonna fight, not even just what he's gonna help just being on the field, but also just how he's gonna fire up the players in the locker room, just being, just being there, just being
exactly.
Back.
It does give a jolt. It definitely does give a jolt. Dougie, like, I love Diana, great reporter. Oh, wow. And now you're calling us the number 1 seed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen any comments from Stephen A. since that. And we're going to talk about another dunce, and then we're going to get into Derrick Henry quick. But I want to give some love to a certain guy by the name of Harry Douglas. And he's a star. And I'm going to play a good clip of him. And this is, I believe he was on First Take. I want to say this was either yesterday or today, but it's going to talk about what he said back in September. Here it is.
Yeah.
A magic ball of some sort.
I'm going to predict that the Tennessee Titans make the Super Bowl. That's going to be my bold prediction.
You didn't.
This is September 3rd.
Let me look into this camera right here.
September
Put me on
3rd.
screen. Damn it. The Tennessee Titans, I'm predicting, going to go to the Super Bowl this year. Now, is that good enough for y'all?
I have the Tennessee Titans winning the Super Bowl. You know why? Because they have a three-headed monster in A.J. Brown, Derrick Henry, Julio Jones, and a Pro Bowler quarterback in Tannehill. Tell me who's going to stop this offense.
Now, that was on First Take, and that was Harry Douglas. Not only did he say it on September 3rd, he doubled down. He like, where's the camera? Bring the camera right here. And he said, the Tennessee Titans are going to the Super Bowl. And then Kendrick Perkins basically second that, but he said that right when Julio got traded, that Titans are going to win it all. So, I mean, shout out to Harry Douglas. And he wore the crown and everything. He like, I told y'all, like, they thought that he got like a crystal ball and some stuff. And I'm gonna give y'all one last clip, and I promise we're gonna talk Derrick Henry because I know that's what y'all want to talk about. But I got to basically, disrespect a certain somebody who I love, who I think we all love to disrespect on this show. And it is simply little old me, Sean. And I'm trying to find that video because I know I got it. I know I got the video. And I want to put this fool on blast so bad that it will make me so happy. And I'm trying to figure, I got to find that video. I had it, but that was the thing. Basically, and well, I can't find it, but it was on NFL Live today. Here comes Keyshawn talking about, oh yeah, the Titans look good now. They're about to be the number one seed. They're about to be number one seed in the playoffs, and they're looking good. And Derrick Henry's coming back. Derrick Henry's coming back and looking good and everything. I'm like, really, me, Sean, with your dumb tail? Weren't you the one that just said, oh, they're not a real 8-2 team? After we beat the Rams without Derrick Henry, but we're not a real 8-2 team. And then me, Sean, basically did a whole about face, basically making it seem like what he said before didn't happen. Really? I'm like Kevin Hart. Really? I mean, come on. And I think exactly everybody like, just keep the disrespect coming. I agree, CJ, like, you know where to go, me, Sean. And like, and then of course a lot of people on Pro Football Focus, Philip says Harry Douglas is a national treasure and should be protected at all times. I agree. I definitely agree with that. So, Ms. Haley, what did you think of some of the other clips that we showed?
I mean, I think we love to hate the media because they disrespect us so much, and they, always counting us out, never believe in us, never give us any credit. But to be honest with you, I love it. Like, I love because every time they start to give us any credit, every time they start to give us the attention or say, hey, maybe there's something going on here, it's like everybody just falls apart. I'm
Agreed.
fine with playing with a chip on our shoulder. I'm fine with being disrespected. In the end, we're probably not going to be respected until we actually win a Super Bowl. But I think it's going to take being disrespected to get to that point. So I'm fine with it, But it's funny. It's funny to be able to go back and look at the things that people have said and kind of where we don't really have much to say in the moment, but keeping those receipts and coming back later, especially with this Henry stuff and being able to say, look, he's here and he's back. I can't wait till he's back on the field, because there's still some people who say he might not come back the same person. So I can't wait to just prove everybody wrong.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And so now with that being said, let's go to the great news of the day and know that we're a win away from clinching the first round bye. Before we do get to the good news, we're going to quickly talk about some news that happened after the game. We got to talk about this Bud Dupree situation a little bit. As a lot of you know, Bud Dupree was sought out for questioning by police and then was basically given a citation charged with a misdemeanor assault for an altercation at a Walgreens on Rosa Parks. I believe it's Rosa Parks in Jefferson, where that all took place. And I would have had the video, but I didn't want no copyright infringement and nothing like that. But I think a lot of you have seen the video. And so, you know, I'll get ready to give my thoughts on all of this. We saw the video. We saw where looks like Bud came in, was talking to the guy, looked like a selfie was being taken, and maybe Bud was trying to reach for the phone, maybe ask for the phone back or something. And then the guy just kind of just scuffles with him. And, you know, I didn't see any punches being thrown or anything like that. It looks like it was just a little tussle or whatever. And then when it looked like, and this is just my opinion, it looked like, you know, when things were broken, kind of broke up a bit, you know, Dupree was trying to leave and trying to get everybody else to leave. You know, he got the girl trying to leave, and then she goes back and swings at somebody or whatever. And then, you know, you get the other, and that was the TMZ from the Walgreens security footage. Then the other footage that was on TMZ with somebody filming, and it was like, Bub was like, hey, you know, get in the car, let's go, let's get out of here. And then they were like, you know, you like get the phone or something like that. And so, in seeing the video, well, I will ask you, Haley, first. Did you see the videos as well? And what were your thoughts when you heard this news?
I did see the videos. Of course, when I first heard the news, it was from, you know, our local like Scoop Nashville, which is just a horrible, you know, whatever publication that. So I really didn't think much of it. Once I saw the original video, which was short, it was like the shorter version of the video that really looked like he was just trying to kind of break things up. Of course, the longer video kind of shows him maybe making the first like move towards somebody, which is a little bit more, I would even say damning, but a little bit more like, okay, maybe he, but in the end, like, I mean, I really didn't think much of it. I don't really feel like much is going to come out of it. I mean, it's a misdemeanor. It didn't look like, I mean, there was no, the whole story hasn't come out yet, obviously. So we don't really, it's all speculation. But regardless, it just didn't look, it wasn't one of those things where you look at it and you say, oh no, he's gonna, you know, I mean, I don't think he should be suspended. I don't think, you know, I mean, it looked like somebody was videoing him or taking a picture with, you know, whatever, that he was, you know, who knows what had happened before that, had he asked him several times, you know, whatever. So I just don't really, I think it's being blown kind of out of proportion, I think, but.
Yeah. And see, I think we're thinking we're kind of on the same wavelength. When I saw the shorter version of that first video, I'm like, okay, why are they making a big deal of it? It looked like Bub was trying to break up the situation, not exactly instigate it. Now, the longer version, I kind of wonder, it would be nice to kind of get what was the audio of that. But other than that, I'm like, okay, I wouldn't make a huge deal out of this. I mean, the only reason it's somewhat of a deal is, okay, the police was involved and he was there. And I think the main thing is you're not hearing like names of any of the people that is with him. It's just he's the recognizable figure. So they're looking at him. And I think, like you said, it's a misdemeanor. Now, if it was a felony, like battery or a felony, okay, that's a whole different ball game. And it's like, oh, Dad, this could be major. But I think this is a misdemeanor. I think it's something that's going to get worked out. And I think this is something where I don't think he'll have any. Of course, I don't think he's going to have any jail time. I think there'll be a fine and maybe, you know, either community service or something like that. You know,
if it doesn't get dropped first, it could get dropped, you know. I mean,
and it could get dropped. I definitely do think that could be possible as well. But I'm not going to make a huge deal out of it because, again, the way I saw it, it looked like it was a simple situation that maybe got a misunderstanding that got out of hand. And then, you know, his crew was kind of a trip. And so the only thing I would say about that I think Bub was wrong in, one, he shouldn't have went in there.
Right.
Number two, you know, you realize that you're a popular guy. You know, you play for the Tennessee Titans. If you come into a store or a restaurant and somebody recognizes you, it's gonna be like, oh man, that's Bud Dupree.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, you know, even me, I would be like, you know, I would probably be going to him being, you know, just talking to him, maybe talk a little football or, you know, saying, hey, what's up or something like that. Or be like, if you don't mind me getting a picture with you or something like that, something simple. Now, I don't know why the person would take the picture. And I don't know if he was trying to get the phone, maybe to tag himself, maybe to say, hey, you know, you could tag me on this or something like that. We don't know.
Right.
And, you know, none of us are legal experts. None of
Mhm.
us are legal experts. We don't know what the outcome of this is going to be. I don't think this is going to be a big deal of it. And I believe Diana Rossini also came out and said, you know, that the Titans are aware of the situation.
Mhm.
They're aware of the situation, but they don't think anything disciplinary is going to come out of this
Yeah.
necessarily. So I think so I don't think this is going to be a huge deal. I mean, I think it's a little small deal because the police is in it, but I think this is something that's going to get worked out. Same as with, I think, the Rashad Weaver situation, because we really haven't heard anything else about it except
No, we
the
haven't.
hearing
Yeah.
kept getting pushed back.
Right.
Because if it was something major that actually happened, forget that, an arrest would have been made. Remember, y'all, Bud Dupree was not arrested. He was basically given a ticket. Basically.
Mhm.
You know, they're saying he got up, you know, probably coming in 3 weeks for booking, but he was never arrested.
Mhm.
Because if they wanted to arrest him, he met, you know, him and his attorney, they've met with the police, and the attorneys are trying to kind of work some things out. And so after the questioning, he wasn't arrested.
Right.
And so obviously, according to things, he was at practice today. So, you know, nobody's come out and said, well, Bud Dupree wasn't at practice or anything. Bud Dupree practiced today. So I don't expect nothing really to come out of it.
No. And if it does, I mean, the truth is that usually in these situations, they're going to let unless there's overwhelming evidence of them do, you know, like if there was video of them hitting a woman or, you know, like they usually let the legal process kind of carry through before they do anything. So
Right.
he's not even being booked for 3 weeks. So we know that nothing's probably going to happen in the next 3 weeks. And then, of course, there'll be whatever process after that. But I mean, I would say whatever happens, if anything even comes of it, which I don't think, if there is anything that happens, it will probably be after the season. So
I think so too.
Yeah.
That would be true. I think Power Hour was like more likely a fine and anger management classes. I could see that. And I think, as James said, I think some people are making a mountain out of a mole. And I agree with that. So some people thinking it could be a money grab. You know, it could be a money grab by, you know, somebody who got recording. Yeah. Obviously, if you record something, you sending it to TMZ, yeah, you're trying to get some money.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. You trying to get some money, you know, and you know, and it's pretty obviously. So it's really nothing more we can really go on that. But let's go on to the good news. And I know we've talked for almost an hour, but we're having fun here. I need to play some, you know, kingly like music for this particular instance because we have a king returning. The king is coming back to sit on his throne, as today he has been designated to return off of IR. The king has returned. Winter is about to arrive. Good news for us, bad news for everybody else. Kansas City, Cincinnati, Buffalo, New England, LA, or Vegas. All I got is 2 words for you. Good luck. Good luck stopping us, especially if you got to come to Nashville to play us in a playoff game.
Yeah.
Good luck. More power to you. Prepare to fall. I mean, and I know you said this already earlier. And I'm going to give you my thoughts. It did feel great to see him. to see just a little clip of him at practice, I'm like, he looks fine to me.
Yeah.
It looked like nothing ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it is incredible. And I know a lot of people said it. C-Dub says, all hail King Henry of House Titans. I love it. I love it. The king is back. Yes, of House Titan. All hail, turn of our Lord and Savior, King Henry. Absolutely. So, if you don't mind me asking again, Haley, you said it almost brought a tear to your eye.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, I wasn't, but it was emotional, like just seeing him, just seeing him on the field, like it's just been, I think not just like for me, but just for him to be back, in this kind of year. I mean, just think about like if we had gone into this and he didn't come back this season at all, and we are going into the playoffs. Let's say we make a playoff run, and we have to do all that without him when he's really so much of what got us to this point with this team. For him to have to miss out on that would just be so. Just to see him like on the field. It was a little emotional. It was,
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there's just, there's excitement. I mean, I think I ran around my house like when I got the notification on my phone. Like, I mean, I was super excited, but there was also just a moment of just like, we've been waiting for it for so long,
Yes.
So.
And I will say this. I looked at Derrick Henry. When I saw the news and I saw the Diana Rossini tweet that I put on all of social media on my social media platform, I was like, yes. Oh my God, we're about to do this thing. I'm like, do I need to book tickets to LA? I'm like, maybe I need to book a flight to LA because I think we're going.
Or maybe Dallas now,
Yes. and I did see that come across my screen too, is saying that the Super Bowl could be moved to Dallas or other places because of some COVID issues out in California. And I will say this. If they move the Super Bowl, if the Titans get in the Super Bowl and they move it to, say, Dallas or Atlanta or something like that, hey, I'm packing up the car.
Yeah.
I'm packing up the car. I'm packing my bags. I'm going.
Yep.
Now, I doubt I will be able to get in the Super Bowl because tickets are going to be like astronomical because you're looking like,
just to be there,
just to be there. I mean, because I think some of the cheapest seats to a Super Bowl game, I believe it's like $5,000. I think it's the cheapest, I want to say, of some tickets. So getting a Super Bowl ticket is extremely expensive. But I mean, if it's close, just to be in the vicinity would be just amazing. And I mean, hi ho silver, it's time to ride. Yippee-ki-yay, let's ride. Let's do this. So, I mean, with King Henry being back now, he's practicing. And so now it begs the question. And we're gotta go, and this kind of basically goes into PMB. So let's go right into Pick My Brain, because I got a question for all of y'all. So I want to pick everybody else's brain. We got Pick My Brain right now. All right, y'all. Welcome back. We're at Pick My Brain, and this is basically the simple question of the night. Do you or do you not play Derrick Henry on Sunday? If it was you. Now, let me set the precedent on this. I am not saying play the whole game. I'm just saying with him coming back from injury, would you play him even a little bit? That's the question I want to ask everybody on that. Again, ladies first. Haley, if you were Mike Vrabel, Derrick Henry comes back, do you activate him for Sunday?
You know what? There's a part of me that says, oh, we don't want to risk injury, whatever. But I also think back at the beginning of the season, the first game, sometimes it takes him a little while to kind of get going. And so there's a part of me that does think that we should play him on Sunday. That not a full game, just a few snaps, just to kind of get back into things, kind of knock the dust off. Also, selfishly, because I'll be at the game in Houston, so selfishly, I would love to see him out there on Sunday. But also, I think that there's benefits to both. But I definitely would like to see him just kind of get out there and knock the dust off, and kind of and then maybe feel better when he goes into the playoffs.
Absolutely. And so I definitely like where you're going with that. And so here's some comments for everybody. Let's see. We got, I know some people would definitely love to see the Super Bowl in Dallas because they're not far away. And I could definitely make the drive. I mean, it will be about 7 hours from here. I could make that drive. I've made the drive before. I made the drive when the Memphis Tigers played in the Cotton Bowl. And so I made that drive. I'm like, I had to be there for it. So I thought that was great. Let's see. Rocky Yit says no. Zach says, I don't think Henry will have rust. Edward Lede says yes, 10 snaps tops. Ms. Mim says just a little, not much. CJ, my frat brother, says 5 to 10 snaps. Rocky Yit says I would rather them unleash him in the playoffs. Don't give teams any film on him. Kent Wood says yes, he would. Zach says he got a whole fan base behind him. He knows the mission. Ian says the selfish part of me wants to see him get at least 10 carries, but don't want to rush him either. Let's see. Ricky says no need to play him. C-Dub says save him for the playoffs. CJ saying got to get a feel for it. Energy from the home crowd in the playoffs will energize him enough. It won't be hard for him to knock the rust off. Treat like a preseason game, 1 to 2 series and then out. He needs to know he could trust the foot in game situations. So it's a lot of mixed reactions here as far as if he should play or not. Here's my thought on this. Yes, I'm playing him. I would activate him. I would play him. And this is exactly the strategy I would take. I would play him. And like a lot of people said, give him about 5 to 10 carries. Maybe see if he can get to 100 yards. If he doesn't, that's okay. Get him about 10 carries. I would say at the absolute max, 12. But really, I wouldn't want no more than 10. Get him about 10 carries. We have the game in hand. Be like, hey, Derek, we just wanted you to test that foot out. You can go ahead and chill and enjoy yourself. Deontay, Dontrell, y'all take it from here. That's exactly what I would do. And in that way, Derek can test that foot out, let him get some game action, let him get hit a little bit, and let him get that feel. And then we get the first round by, hey, he gets an extra week off. He can, if it ends up a little sore and it'll be okay, he can take that time to kind of rest it off a bit, and go back and say, okay, I see where I did this. I can do this differently. Or like, okay, I'm good. I know I can plant my foot and it's okay. Yeah. You got to give him time to trust that foot. I would rather him get a few carries in this game and not throw him out in the playoffs because, yes, if something happened where it re-aggravates in the Houston game, it would kind of hurt, but I know we could rebound in the playoffs. But if you throw him in a playoff game and something like that happens, I don't think I would want his first carries to be in a win or go home playoff situation. I just think let him get basically his feet wet.
Mhm.
No pun intended. I would rather just not him get his first big carries in the playoffs, because if something go down at home, that's going to completely knock the wind out of our sails at home. That's going to basically stun the crowd, and the momentum will be gone pretty much. So
For sure.
that's just what I would do if it were me as coach. Luckily, I'm not the head coach. I'm not the head coach. It's not my decision. I'm not Vrabel. Titan Tiger says a few snaps, nothing fancy, nothing running down the middle. Let them eat against a worn-out defense in the second half. And remember, y'all, this Texan team we're about to face, and we're going to go into this, they're one of the worst defenses in the league. They're last against the run. So, it said play him, but don't let him run the ball. Just have him on the field. Don't let him touch the ball, but play some snaps. That's from Mr. Titan. I can understand that. I know there's quite a few. I think there's a lot of people that's going to be making that trek to Houston for the game. If I didn't have to work on Sunday morning, I probably would too, because I looked at some flights. I tried to look at some flights to Houston, but I didn't see any nonstop where I would get there in time for the game. So, I mean, the only one that I saw, I think, would be like if I left at like 6 a.m., I might get there like nonstop around 8 in the morning. But other than that, I didn't see any nonstop flights where I could just go get there before the game. So, as C-Dub was saying, I've said this many times. Derrick Henry isn't human. He's a cyborg. Wouldn't play him. And I agree with that. Derrick Henry is not of this world.
No.
He is not a human. He is not built like a human. I've said it. I think Derrick Henry is an alien. I really do. I think he's like Superman. I think he came from a distant planet like a Krypton. He crash landed on Earth as a baby. The Henry family took him in, adopted him, and basically raised him as their own son. That's what I think.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
I mean, he's built differently. He is not the average human being. So
He's not, but we also don't know. We don't know him coming back from injury, And so I think that's the only part of me that says, I think you're right. Like, to play him and just give him a moment to, get his feet planted. Let him, he's got, getting hit is completely different than, just running up the field. And then he can, in that game, learn what he can and can't do, what he needs to do differently. And then so he's coming into the playoffs, not just completely like learning how to, if he has to do things differently. And that's the biggest thing, because the question is completely off the table if he's really not ready. If he's 100% ready, like if he has no restrictions, like if he's 100% ready and they know that and he feels that way, I don't see that there's any reason for him to not play on Sunday.
Absolutely. I don't disagree with that at all. And I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's up to Vrabel. If Vrabel goes to him and says, Derrick, are you willing to go? Can you go today? If he says yes, bang. That's all we need to know. That's all we need to know. And that is, if he's ready to go, he's ready to go. C-Dub says he's from Krypton. Rocky says he is definitely a football god. I agree. He is a treasure. He is a absolute god, and I absolutely love it. So it looks like parties at Mr. Titan's house. So y'all go to Mr. Titan's house. I see it. So real quick before we do preview the Houston game, right quick, Philip comes in with a PMB. With locking up the 1 seed, King return and team fully healthy, is it fair as fans to say no excuse, it's Super Bowl or bust? Wow, that's a decent question. I would say get to the Super Bowl or bust. Honestly. Get to the Super Bowl. I want us to win it, but just to get us there, I think is a major accomplishment. Win the AFC, because it ain't going to be easy. because if we do lock up home field advantage, and remember, we got to win to do that, and we got to win to do that. So again, here's the clinching scenario right quick for that, and it is this: Tennessee Titans get a win, they get the number 1 seed. The only other way they could do it, Kansas City has to lose, Cincinnati has to lose, and Buffalo has to win for us to keep the number 1 seed with a loss. So, as Vrabel has said throughout the press conference, winning takes care of everything. That's basically it. Winning takes care of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. So, plus I got some money on the line, them getting to the Super Bowl. If they win the whole thing, I win $1,800. I win almost $1,900 if they get all the way there. I could win about almost $600 if they get to the Super Bowl. So I kind of want them to at least get there, honestly, because I would like to cash in. So, that is what it is there. So let's go ahead and move in to talking about this Houston Texans game. Houston coming off of a 24-7 loss to the San Francisco 49ers. Davis Mills did not look all that comfortable. It looked like he was just doing a bunch of dump downs to Rex Burkhead. He definitely looks for Brandon Cooks a lot. And he's not Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor gave us a lot of trouble in the last game. But Davis Mills is more of he's a pocket quarterback. He is your quintessential quarterback. So you get after him, I think you can get him to fold. So here are some of the stats as far as rankings with the Texans and the Titans. Now, the Titans offensively, 15th in scoring, 17th in total offense. They're 3rd in running the ball, which is remarkable after what has happened to Derrick Henry. Still one of the best rushing teams in the league. But 27th passing the ball, and we've given up 46 sacks, even though we only gave up 1. And in Houston, they're just bad all around. They're 30th in points per game, last in yards, last in running the ball, 30th in passing the football. And they've given up 42 sacks. So this could be a day where the Tennessee Titans defense could simply feast on the Houston Texans offense. Big time. And I'll get to one of my points because it has to do with Brandon Cooks. On the other side of the ball, on the defense, Houston, 27th in scoring defense. They allow some points. They allow yards. They're 29th in yards given up. They're last against the run. So look at that. They're last in running the ball, and they're last in stopping the run. Now, they're 21st in against the pass, but they do cause some turnovers. That's how they kind of tried to do it against San Francisco, and they did it against us. They didn't really do anything big defensively. They just picked off Tannehill 4 times. And their turnover differential is +3. So, going into this game, I wanted to ask you, Haley, before you do log off, what would you be looking for in this particular game as far as helping the Titans get to a victory?
I think obviously, our defense is gonna play well. I believe, and even though, like you were just talking about, like Mills has been playing well. Honestly, like he's been getting better, but I still think that their offense is not a match for our defense. So as long as our offense steps up and and I don't think that they'll have any problem. I mean, we need a good game, from AJ. It depends. A lot of that depends on too if Henry comes back, if he's playing at all. But I'd say that's the biggest thing. Protecting our O-line is probably the number one thing because that's going to kill us is the turnovers. So that's what every game that we've lost that we shouldn't have lost has had to do with that. So I'd say that's the biggest thing probably is our O-line playing well to make sure that that Tannehill has time to make good choices. Um, I'd say that's probably the number one thing that we need to look at because there's really no reason that we should not beat them. But if we don't, it's probably going to come down to turnovers. And I think that has to do with Tannehill getting the ball out, making smart moves, but also has to do with offensive line, giving him a chance to do that. Protecting him, giving him a clean pocket. So
absolutely, and that will lead us quickly into the 4 points of victory. She just gave a good nugget right here. So yes, we go into the Blue Enforcer 4 points of victory and basically 5 points because Haley just laid a nugget, and that's absolutely right. Don't turn the ball over. You don't turn the ball over, you win this game. That's what cost us in the last game against Houston was the turnovers. 5 turnovers, no excuse for that. Absolutely no excuse for that at all. And, somebody mentioned it. I think Oilers struck Al Pierce mentioned it, saying their number one tackler is now on our side.
Yeah.
So Zach Cunningham is probably like, I'm finna stick it to Houston, show y'all this is why I wanted to leave. So, my first point is from the movie 300. Y'all know I love my movie references. Give them nothing, but take from them everything. Plain and simple. Fulton has to take Brandon Cooks away, force the dump off, make him go the full length of the field. And in the last game, the only times really that Houston scored was because of short fields off of turnovers. The interception that was thrown, the linebacker ran it all the way back inside the 10. That's how they scored. The other was the punt that Chester Rogers went off of his foot. They score off of that. If those 2 plays don't happen, that's the 2 touchdowns doesn't come from that. Any other turnover, the defense, it was either a field goal or the defense, stopped them and forced the punt. So, he likes to go to Brandon Cooks a lot. Take him away, and you could pretty much stop him, and then you could get after Davis Mills and make him go a full length of the field. Don't give him a short field. It's okay. Make them work for it. With our defense, make them work for it. And that tires out the offense at the same time because they have to work so hard to score, pretty much. So that would be number 1. Number 2, I said this last week, I'm going to say this week. Just like Doc said in Back to the Future, he would say, you're not thinking 4th dimensionally. We got to make them think 1-dimensionally. Put pressure on Davis Mills, attack him, and Jeffrey Simmons already came out and said it. They want to be the number 1 run defense in the league. They're not far behind the Baltimore Ravens in that regard as far as run defense. And I believe they're definitely number 2 in that regard. I believe they are like a yard or so behind them as far as that. Let me see. I can pull it up right now. Yeah, they're like a yard. Baltimore is at 84.8. Tennessee is at 85.9. They want to be the number 1 defense in the league in running the ball and stopping the run. And this offense is one of the worst in football. So put the ball in Davis Mills' hands and let him make the mistakes for you. Number 3, seek revenge and destroy. I was going to say isolate and destroy, but I say terrible defense that you're about to play on, run the ball, take their spirit, take their heart, but be patient and methodical. Don't rush, don't throw the interceptions, just be patient, methodical, take their spirit away. And then last but not least, unleash the Kraken, like in Clash of the Titans. Make sure you're all right over there.
Sorry.
No, you're okay. Unleash the Kraken and show no mercy. Send a statement to the rest of the league that we are not to be messed with. And we will take everything from you. Take their heart, take their spirit, take their manhood from them. This should be a revenge game for them because it's like, hey, they embarrassed us.
Mhm.
Now it's time to embarrass them and put the whole league on notice saying, look, when y'all come to Nashville, we're going to get Nashville nasty and we're going to bring the Music City Mayhem. And you are not going to like it. Plain and simple.
Mhm.
And Haley, I know you got to get ready to get out of here in a minute, but what were your thoughts on those points?
I think they were spot on. You know, I just want to come out there like just on fire. Like I just want to see these guys on fire, and I think it's going to be a great game to be at. There's so many fans, Titans fans, going to that game. I mean, it's going to be like a takeover. I mean, there's so many people that I know that are going, and I just hope that it just feels like that home game feel, just everybody fired up. So I think everything you said is just spot on.
Yeah, and I mean, man, I wish I could go to that game. I thought about it. I honestly, like I said, I was looking up flights. Like I was thinking about taking a trip to Houston. You know, I usually get off work about 8 in the morning. I get off work about 8 in the morning. I'm like, man, I would have loved to take the trip. But I mean, we know how things are with flights and stuff like that. And I think Houston is a longer drive, I want to say, than Dallas, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
I want to say Houston, I think it's about 8 or
It's
9
just a
hours
little
from
further
here.
south, yeah.
It's a little further away.
Mhm.
So, again, take their spirit. They're one of the worst offenses. They're one of the worst defenses. And take it to them,
Mhm.
whoop them. Let's get this number 1 seed, and let's get it all said and done. And on that, Haley, I'm going to let you go once again. If you want to let everybody know where they can find you, and now I know where I can find you as well, since
Yeah.
I made myself a new friend.
All right. Yeah. I was going to say if there's anybody else that's listening that's coming to the Houston game, there's a couple of different little hangouts that are going on. There's one on Saturday night and then a tailgate on Sunday morning. And I'll tweet out, like, if you find me on Twitter, again, my handle's at Haybay42, HAYBAY42. And I'll tweet out the information, but there's going to be several, there's Chili Pepper. There's like the San Antonio Titans fans group. There's the Houston, and Mr. Titan will be there too. Shout out to him. He's kind of the first one that kind of gave us ladies a platform by having us on his show back in June.
I do remember that.
We really appreciate all of you guys that have started kind of giving us a little bit of a platform, but just shout out to him. He was kind of the first. So,
he was first.
But we love all of you guys for doing this. But yeah, so come, follow me on Twitter. I'll send some information about the Houston game. Again, it's the same people putting on the tailgate on Sunday morning, and I'll be at both. So I'd love to meet people. So
yeah, I definitely look forward to that, and I would say, definitely send me some of that video footage of that. I would love to see it.
For sure, yeah.
And also, I will say this. Since it looks like I can't make the trip to Houston, especially for everybody, if any of you listening are in Memphis, definitely come to Vibes Nightclub, 3706 Mendenhall. I will be there with the Titans Fan Club of Memphis, doing it big. I don't know if our president Preston Rounds will be there. I know he was dealing with COVID. Preston, get well soon, my friend. But if you're able to come out Sunday, we're definitely they tailgate, and we're gonna be watching the game. I will be doing a live stream, just like this live while the game is going on. Since I can't make it to Houston, but if if I can, I will try to get with my Titan representative. I'm gonna try to give me a ticket to that first playoff game. So I think I will definitely be at the first playoff game by hook or crook. I'll spend some more money to get there. So
Hey, if you need help getting a ticket, I'm a season ticket member, and we can get discounted tickets right now. So if you need help, let me know. I'll
I
be happy to
do.
help you
I
out.
want one. Because I know I didn't renew at the deadline. I am gonna renew my tickets. I
Mhm.
just didn't renew at the deadline
Mhm.
before. So yeah, I would like to get hooked up.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it is, but I will be glad to pay for it.
Hey, yeah, just message me and I'll be happy to help.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Haley, once again, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for everything. And I think that about wraps up the show for tonight. I really don't have anything extra to go off. I see Baker Mayfield's not playing this Sunday against the Bengals, I guess due to injury. So his season is over. Big Ben, heck of a career. Shout out to him. Even though he played for Pittsburgh. So everybody, again, make sure y'all share this show out. Thank y'all again for helping me hit 1,000. I am at 1,100 now, so I'm trying to get to 1,200. So help me out with that. And last but not least, if you want some TNT swag, hit my girl up, Miss Latoya. Myself, for hats, hit up Out the Crib Customs, like you see here. If you want hats and shirts, hit me up as well. I can definitely help you out. So everybody, thank y'all for tuning into the show. Thank y'all tuning in to Tell You the Truth. And it's on like Neckbone Sunday. Thank y'all. Good night.